So it's like, I don't know, 20 degrees, maybe 15 degrees outside. I have 4 apples that I had left in the refrigerator from a box of apples that I bought, and I'm going to make some apple dumplings out of them with just about 2 cups of flour, about a 2/3 stick of a butter that I'm melting in the oven. You don't have to melt it. You can actually maybe use like a cheese grater and grate it to mix it in with your flour, but today I'm just melting it as I heat up the oven. And some salt, some cold water, and that'll be the batter for the pastry that goes around the apple, and just some cinnamon and stuff for the apple and sugar. So let's get started. So first I'm just coring the apples. And it seems like one side doesn't take out the other side of the seed. So sometimes you have to do it twice just to make sure that you get all of that seed out. So I'm poking this thing right over the end. And of course that one pretty much hit it dead center. But they haven't been doing that. So since I can see some more seeds in there, I go through again and get the other side. And that one was perfect. So this little gadget I got from Pampered Chef. It's really nice. Then I'm just going to peel off the apple skin. Two-thirds of a stick of butter to about 2 cups of flour, and then I'm going to put in some cold water, and trust me, the water coming out of my tap is cold. I think this would be better with a fork so I can mash up what butter didn't melt. And I also want to put in some sugar, and I'm going to put in about 4 heaping tablespoons of sugar. And I also want to put in a little bit of salt. And I also love nutmeg. So I'm going to add some nutmeg to the flour, and also I'm going to also add some to, let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll put some in a bowl here, because I'm going to mix some nutmeg, sugar, and cinnamon to put over the apple with some butter as it bakes. And I'll bake it at 375 until I can poke it with a fork. And the apple is cooked. So this is going to be nutmeg, sugar, and cinnamon. That's going to go over these 4 apples. And you can do it the way you want it. If you would like a lot of cinnamon, more cinnamon. This is just cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg. And I'm going to put more sugar in because I actually did add a lot of cinnamon. Okay. So back to the butter and water and flour and a little bit of salt and some nutmeg. I'm trying to just work through all the butter and mix that. Add a little bit more of the cold water, and since it's like, I don't know, 20 degrees or something outside, when you go to wash your hands, you want that water to run a little bit because it's so cold. It's so icy cold. I think a little bit more. It's just still very crumbly, so I'm going to have a little bit more water so it just sticks together better. Alright, now I can, I think, mix this with my hands. And hopefully I've estimated it enough to do 4 apples, because what I basically want to do is break this dough up into 4 parts and wrap it around my apples. And then my apples are going to go in here and bake at, I'm going to say, it depends. You want the outside to get crispy, so you could bake them for like 375 and then lower the temperature. So now I'm going to cut this in half and then half each one. And I'm going to roll my apples into this cinnamon mixture. So my apples look nice and coated with cinnamon and nutmeg. And then I'm going to try and flatten this out. Probably should have left the flour out so I could have some flour. Yeah, I got to get some out so it doesn't stick to my hands. So I put a little flour in the bowl so I can work the dough, because I'm just going to use my hands and try and flatten it out so that it fits around the apple that I just put into the cinnamon. So, and then what I'm going to do is just squeeze this dough until I get it to come up over this apple. I have a little spot here. I'm going to have to just put a little dough there. Maybe one more piece of dough right there. So your apple is pretty much covered with dough. So now I'll do another piece of dough and smash it out. This one was a little bit more dough to it, so it's a little thicker, which allows me to push it around here better. Okay, so that's my second one. And what I do after if I have a bunch of cinnamon left and sugar, I save that in a bowl and I add it to my coffee the next morning or so, because I love cinnamon coffee. It's just so good. I'm going to take some of this because I think I made this one. It's a bigger apple, so I put more dough in the ball, but I think I have plenty. It's nothing like an apple dumpling. And the last apple. Smash this one out so that this apple all right, so now what I'm going to do is take a little bit of butter and put it right down where the core of the apple was, and I'm putting about that much butter into each core, and I'm going to sprinkle some of this cinnamon and sugar over the top. And I'll show you what we have. And when it comes out of the oven, I'll show you that to you as well. So these are my apple dumplings as they're going into a 375-degree oven for, I'm going to say at least, I'll start checking at 30 minutes, but it'll probably take 45. All right, it's been 30 minutes at 375. I'm going to get a fork and let's see if the apple part is done. No, we're going to leave that in there for 15 more minutes. But I'm going to drop the temperature of the oven down to 350. All right, back in 15 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes. And I'm going to try the fork. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's quite done. So 40 minutes, 30 minutes at 375 and 10 minutes at 350. All right. I don't even know if I'm looking at me or not, because I'm looking at the back of the camera, but I love apples. Time for some coffee as well. Peace.